Today I'm going to teach you my all-time favorite passing chord. It works on just about any style like blues, jazz, and pop. It works on just about any song as well, and it's super easy to play. So if you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced student, you should easily be able to play it. In this video, you're gonna learn the chord, you're gonna learn my favorite way to play the chord, and then I'm gonna show you how to use it on any chord progression. If you've been wanting to add passing chords to your playing and you don't know where to start, this is the lesson for you. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, we're gonna get right into it, and I'm gonna teach you the chord, but make sure to watch all the way to the end of the lesson so that you fully understand how the chord is built and the best ways to play the chord, and then how to use it in songs, because this is the most important part. It's not enough to just learn the chord. You need to understand how to use it. Okay, so what is my favorite passing chord? Here it is. Beautiful chord. Check that out. We have C on the bottom, B flat. We've got the D and the E being played by the thumb, and then we have A and E. Okay, this is a beautiful chord called a C13 chord, but don't worry about the name of the chord. If it's confusing, I'm gonna break it down for you. But before I break it down for you, if you're enjoying this lesson, please hit the like button, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this. So you're probably thinking, Johnny, that sounds beautiful, but what the heck is this chord? Like, I don't really understand why you call this a C13 chord. Well, that gets us to the chord construction. How is this chord built? Well, if you're playing music, especially like a blues, you're going to encounter these chords called dominant seventh chords. This is called a C7 chord. It's usually used in a blues, or if you're playing a pop tune in the key of C, you'll often use it on the 5 chord, like on a G, you'll play a G7 chord, okay? So that is the basic chord. It's a dominant chord. In this case, we're going to use a C7, but we're going to add 2 color notes to the chord. We're going to add a D, which we call the 9th, and then we're going to add the A, which we call the 13th of the chord. And the reason we call this the 9th is because it's 9 steps above the root. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then the A is actually 13 steps above the root, okay? So it's called a C13 chord because it includes the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. We skip the 11 because the 11 usually does not sound good with the 13, but that's how we get up to the 13. So you're probably thinking, okay, Johnny, it sounds great, C13, beautiful chord, but how do I actually use it in a chord progression? So that's what we're going to talk about next. Where do you put this chord in to your chord progression to make it sound good? Well, let's say you have a simple chord progression. Maybe it's a blues in the key of C, okay? You have a C7 chord, and then you go to your 4 chord, which is an F7 chord, okay? And let's say you're grooving on these chords like this. Add some passing chords in between your C7 chord and your F7 chord. How do you do it? Well, you can add a passing chord right in front of this F7 chord. So let me show you, okay? The way you do it is right before you get to that F7 chord, you're going to put the passing chord on the chord a half step above your target chord. In this case, the target chord is F7. Okay, so you're going to put that passing chord on a G flat 7. And in this case, we're going to play it as a G flat 13. Well, what's a G flat 13? There's 1, 3, 5, 7. 9 is an A flat, and your 13 is an E flat. Okay, so check it out. We're going to go from that C7 chord to our F7 chord, but we're going to put that G flat in the middle. It sounds amazing. Did you hear it in the middle? Beautiful passing chord, and again, it works on so many chord progressions like this. So what did I do? Well, if you take your first chord, C7, and you kind of spread the notes out, let's say you want to go to your F7 chord. Well, let's use that passing chord on the G flat, and we're going to voice it like this, okay? Remember before when I taught you the voicing on the C, I taught it to you like this. It had the root, it had the 7th, it had the 9th, the 3rd, played by the thumb, the 13, and the 3rd we're going to do that on the G flat 7 chord. So on the G flat 7, you have root 7th, you've got the 9th and the 3rd clustered with the thumb, then you've got the 13 and you have the 3rd. You hear that? Beautiful chord, super clustery, very crunchy sounding, and then I drop that in to my F chord, and I actually use the same voicing on the F chord. So this is an F7, but I'm adding the 9th and the 13th to the F7 chord, and I'm using this voicing on this passing chord, okay? So it is a beautiful voicing. Once again, the rule is that if you have a chord progression and you're going to a chord, like C to F, you put it on the chord just above your target chord of F. So we put it on the G flat 7 chord. Now, you're going to encounter a problem with this voicing. And here's the problem. What if you wanted to play this voicing on a D flat 7 chord? Well, you might try to voice it like this. You might say, okay, root 7, 9, 3rd. I can't put my thumb on both of these notes. 13, and then, 3rd way up there. I can't do it, right? I can't put my thumb on these two notes. And so if you're in a situation like this, what I recommend that you do is don't play the 9 with the thumb. Put it up here on the top, and you play it like this, okay? So there are actually two voicings of this chord. You have the one that I taught you on the C, which is just like this. There's the cluster, but on chords like D flat, I recommend that you put the E flat, the 9, on the top, okay? And you'll encounter this on other chords like A flat 7. If you try to play an A flat 7, you really need to put the B flat on the top, okay? So these are the two voicings that you need to know for this passing chord. Now in just a minute, I'm going to show you how to use this passing chord on 3 chord progressions, but I know some of you might be wondering, Johnny, the passing chord sounds beautiful, but why does it work? Why does it sound good? Well, it uses a really cool passing chord technique called tritone substitution, and I'm going to explain this as simply as I possibly can. If I'm going from a C chord to an F chord, let's say I'm in the key of C, and I'm on the 1 chord, and now I'm going to the 4 chord, okay? One of the coolest ways to get to my 4 chord, F, is to use a C7 to get to the F. So I can put a C7 in front of my F chord. It's called tonicization. It's a cool way of adding an additional chord, a C7. The essential notes of a C7 are the 3rd and the 7th, okay? These are the notes that guide the chord. Well, guess what? There's another chord that shares the 3rd and the 7th from the C7 chord. What is it? It's a G flat 7, okay? So the G flat 7 is a substitute chord for the C7, and I already told you that a C7 leads to an F. Therefore, if I want to get to an F chord, instead of playing a C7 passing chord, I can use a G flat 7 passing chord. All right, enough theory. Let's talk about how to use this passing chord on tunes. I'm going to show you how to use it on a blues, on a ballad, and on a jazz swing tune. Okay, so the first tune is St. Louis Blues. It is a really fun blues tune. Okay, we teach this over at pianowithjohnny.com. And so this might be a tune where you want to add a passing chord. You're going from a C7 to an F7. Well, you can add a passing chord in there. So with a passing chord, we start on our C7, and then we go G flat 13, that's the chord I taught you, drop that into your F chord, we're going to make this an F13, and then we continue our melody. Okay, it's a very simple way of doing it. Now you could be more rhythmic with it. And what I did there, I started with my melody. I'm kind of breaking up the chord, and then I went. I kind of came in early with the bass note. You see that? Then I do the top of the chord. So you can play with it. You don't have to hit the full chord at the same time. You can break up the notes. All right, let's try another one. What if I wanted to use this passing chord on the tune At Last? Okay, this is Etta James, and the tune goes like this. Okay, it's based on a turnaround chord progression, which is a 1 chord in F. This is an F7, then a 6 chord, which is a D7, D dominant 7, and then a 2 chord, which is a G minor 7, to a 5 chord, which is C7. Okay, it's a turnaround. Well, what if I wanted to add a passing chord, or maybe a few passing chords between each of these chords? Well, I could do it like this. Did you hear them? Okay, really fun, really smooth. And guess what? I'm just using the passing chord technique that I taught you. Okay, so in this case, we start on our F. At last. I'm going to my D7 chord, so what's the passing chord I can add in front of it? It's an E flat 13 chord. So let's voice the chord. E flat 13. What are the notes? That's 1, 3, 5, and 7, the 9, and the 13. Okay, by the way, the 9 is just a whole step above the root, and then the 13 is like a major 6th interval above the root. Okay, that's an E flat 13, and we're going to voice it like that. You can do it like that, or you can do it like this. I'm going to choose this voicing to get into my next chord, D, because it's a little easier to play on the D. You see that? So at last, E flat 13 into the D. You see it? And then going into G minor, we can do the same thing. We can go A flat 13. There's that voicing number 2. You see it? And then G minor, and I continue my melody. Make sense? And so you can add these almost anywhere. I probably could add it in front of the C7. Now, there's a melody there, it's kind of busy, so I recommend when you're using this passing chord to try using it in the gaps, meaning if there's no melody, that's a great place to insert this passing chord. All right, before I show you how to use this on a jazz swing tune, if you want to go deeper on passing chords, we have a really good course on this called Passing Chords and Reharmonization. I show you my top 8 favorite passing chords, and we have a beginner to intermediate level course and an intermediate to advanced level course. So I'll put a link to that below. All right, so what if you wanted to use this passing chord on a jazz tune like Autumn Leaves? Okay, Autumn Leaves is a beautiful tune, right? Nice chords, but a lot of opportunity to add some passing chords, okay? Well, guess what? You can use this passing chord between almost every one of these other chords. Check it out. So on this tune, it starts on a G. We're going to go to a C minor chord, and then we're going to go to an F7 chord. You see that? And then B flat major 7, and then E flat major 7. You see it? These are basic 7th chords. Then we have an A minor 7 flat 5. Okay? And then we have a D7. And then we're finally to a G minor 7. Okay, that's the basic form of the first section of the tune. Well, you can add this passing chord in front of those target chords. So let's go back. We have C minor. You can go G flat 13 in front of your F chord, and that drops in beautifully there. Then the melody comes back in. B flat major, 7 chord. Let's use that passing chord in front of the E flat. So we're going to go E13 like that. You see it? And then E flat major 6, 9. Then we have A minor 7 flat 5. And let's put a passing chord in front of the D. So we'll go E flat 13 to the D. See that little drop in? And then walk it up. Now G minor. We'll go A flat 13 back to our G minor. Okay, so yet again, if we're just sitting on a chord like G, we can add it in front of the G and then come back to the G like that. And then we continue our melody. Now you might be thinking, cool, Johnny, that sounds great, but those all kind of sound jazzy to me. Like, what if I wanted to do this on a pop tune? Like, what if I wanted to try this on Elton John? You can do it on Elton John. So let's say you took the tune Your Song. Right? It's in the key of E flat. Could you use this passing chord on this tune? Absolutely. The key is to find a spot in the tune where there's a little gap in the melody. So let's look at the first part. Okay? I would not use it here because you're going to go to a B flat major chord, first inversion, and then G minor, but look, here you're going to go to a C minor, and you're going to land really confidently on that C minor, and there's a gap. So this might be a good spot for it. Let's see if we can use it here. Kind of works there, right? So just before that C minor chord, I put in a D flat 13 chord, and then I land on my C minor. Hey, thanks for watching, and be sure to check out pianowithjonny.com. If you want to get to know me better, I will actually listen to you play and give you personalized feedback in our weekly Q&As. We do live workshops for our students every month where we do a live lesson. You can ask me questions during our lessons. And of course, we have the amazing Piano with Jonny library of courses where you will learn the PWJ method to taking your playing to the next level. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.